Hey everyone, welcome back to Solo Party. My name is Kane, and we are back with more Dante Inferno. We're still in limbo, and we have just stumbled into a confrontation with King Minos. I've already gone through the first cleanup, rebuild, and prepare step. So you can see we're all starting with 11 vigor. We all got some extra invigorate through different things that happened in the chronicle phase. And we also gained the Caduceus from Hippocrates that we met during the Chronicle phase. And we've got this equipped to Marie right now. This is a relic, and companions cannot wield this. So as a free action, you may spin this card to draw a sin card and cause yourself or another champion at any range to receive Restore 1. For Minos' status card, we can see that he has a sturdiness of 5 and a threshold of 2, and then the Throne of Limbo is also a malefactor and can be attacked and damaged. It has a sturdiness, however, of 7 and a threshold of 3. So you can see with the Wrestler ability, Minos can hold any combination of 2 champions and or pillars. If he were to hold a third object, release one of the items he is already holding. If he can, Minos releases pillars instead of champions, and pillars will collapse when they are released. Then we also have living furniture, which explains that the Throne of Limbo is considered furniture in addition to being a malefactor, and cannot be moved or change its facing, but it can be thrown or pushed. And additionally, whenever Minos moves into an area the throne is in, he sits on it instead of shoving it. And you can see on the malefactors tray there, for our objective right now we have defeat King Minos. That first section is King Minos' action deck, and then the second one is the Throne of Limbo's action deck, and there are only 4 cards in that one. So if we can actually rush down the Throne of Limbo, that's going to be 1 less action that occurs each malefactor's turn. So I think we're going to want to do that. And then finally, we have a 3-card event deck. So now let's start taking our actions. We're going to start our actions off with Cain, and we're going to perform an attack with our release shot. Cain is already the fiercest, so we don't need to move him up the track, and we get to make an attack with a +1 die bonus that ignores combat engagement, so that's not going to be relevant right now because we are 3 spaces away from our target because we're going to be shooting at the throne. And Cain still has that aggressiveness token from earlier on in Limbo, so if we can get at least 8 hits, then we'll be able to get it up to 14, which will be 2 wounds and half of its action deck. Okay, so that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, we were so close. So there's no reason to use our aggressiveness token because that's not going to be able to get us to 14, but that is going to be 1 wound to the throne, and we do not trigger a counterattack. Then with Cain, we're going to spend 2 more vigor to make a move 2, putting us down to 7 vigor. And that'll put us right up here with this chest, where we'll then use another vigor going to 6 to interact with the arc. And that draws him a Burden of Sisyphus. If you are on top of a building, as a free action, discard this card to perform a Sisyphus's punishment. And we can look at the Book of Commandments to see what that does. I actually haven't seen that yet, so let's find out together. So a Sisyphus punishment is actually where we get to choose a building that we're on top of and move it until it hits an opposing wall, destroying furniture and objects in the way and dealing damage to characters. So let's say King Minos was to the right there, and then we activated this, it would take 4 damage for each area, which is 3. So doing that would make it take 12 points of damage, which would inflict 2 wounds onto Minos. So a really cool way if you can get a long slide to deal some damage. Next, we're going to use 2 points of vigor with Oliver for a move 2 and rush past King Minos to the throne. Sorry, that was 3 points of movement, so 3 vigor, putting Oliver down to 8. Then we're going to attack the throne again with a shield bash. Oliver will move 2 spaces up on the fierceness track, putting him into first. And then we make an attack with a +4 dice bonus that considers its target's threshold 2 points lower. So we only need to roll 1 fumble against the throne in order to get a counterattack. But because we have Charon's paddle now, this is going to be an 8 dice attack. We are once again rolling against a sturdiness of 7. All right, so that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 hits. So that is going to be 1 wound, but we did roll 3 fumbles. So that means one of those will trigger the counterattack, and it's going to get +2 base damage. And since we were able to overcome its sturdiness, we're going to pay 2 vigor points to cause the malefactor to suffer push 1. That puts Oliver at 6 vigor. And we're going to send the throne crashing down into that E3 square. And dropping the throne down that far did crush the arc underneath it, so we won't be getting any findings from that. And now that the collateral effects are done, we can do the counterattack. And we got hardness, so this blocks all wounds being inflicted by this attack, so that was 1. And the attacking champion receives Inspire X, X being equal to the number of wounds blocked this way. So we actually did not get to wound it, but we do get to receive Inspire 1 with Oliver. Now we're going to switch over to Marie and spend 2 points of vigor going down to 9 in order to move on to this other building with the arc. We will then go ahead and spend another point of vigor going to 8 to interact and draw a findings. And Marie has found a miry sinkhole. As a free action, we can discard this card to inflict 1 wound on a malefactor within range 2. If that malefactor has 2 or more action decks, the wound will be inflicted on the one with the lowest sturdiness that is not empty. And then Marie will follow that up with a guidance maneuver card, so we don't have to adjust ourselves on the fierceness track for this. And then we make an attack, and if we are above our target, this attack receives +2 dice bonus. We are still attacking the throne. Remember, we can attack at any range because we have a symbol weapon. And so we are on level 1, so we're above the throne. So we do get that +2 dice bonus, meaning we are going to be attacking with 5 die. And there you have it. 7 hits is enough to deal a wound. 1 fumble will not trigger a counterattack on the Throne of Limbo. We do get the collateral effect bonus with Marie, but as you're going to see very shortly, that's not going to matter. We're going to go back to Cain. And we're going to use our Burden of Sisyphus to perform a Sisyphus's punishment. And we're going to move this building 1 space forward, which is going to destroy each of those objects that it crosses over. And then when it hits the Infernal Throne, that's 4 spaces. So that's going to be 16 damage against the throne. That deals 2 wounds and takes out its action deck. The only downside is when we pass over those 2 brazier, when they're destroyed, they deal 2 damage to the characters in that area. So we're going to end up taking 4 points of vigor damage on our way there, but we will defeat the throne. Now with the throne out of the way, we can just focus on King Minos. Now for Kyra, we're going to spend 4 points of vigor for a move 4. And this is going to put us all the way in that back corner with the other arc. This puts Kyra at 7 vigor, and then we're going to perform a battle cry with her. So going up 1 on the fierceness track, you or another champion within range 2 either receives Invigorate 4 or Empower 4 at your choice. And so we're not going to get the combo because we're not playing it on top of another maneuver, but within range 2 is Oliver, who is going to be the target of the malefactor's attack, so he could definitely use some extra HP, so he's going to go up to 10 vigor. So now King Minos is going to perform a home run. We're going to move 3, approaching the fiercest champion at any range, which is going to be Oliver. And then if there are any champions in the area Minos is in, inflict 4 damage on each of them. So Oliver's the only one, so he's going to get 4 damage. And then if Minos were holding any more objects, it would be 4 additional. But luckily, he's not holding anything right now. So 4 damage to Oliver is going to put him back down to 6. And lastly, those champions suffer push 2. So Oliver is about to drop 2 levels here. And falling damage is 2 points of damage per level. But that's only from push 1. Push 2 would then push us off the edge, which cannot be done, but you do suffer another 2, so that's 6 total vigor. So that does unfortunately get us right down to 0, so we are going to take 1 wound and reset to 6. But that's it for the home run. We took out the Throne of Limbo, so now we just go to the event. And we've drawn the event Curse. The fiercest champion at any range, so again still Oliver, resets their vigor to 6 and suffers polymorph. So as you'll soon see, we are about to be changed in a big way with Oliver. Then each other champion at any range suffers stun 1 with no fatigue, and we store this card. If it's the 3rd card we store, then we read another scene. Okay, so once we've gone through the event deck, we're going to read a scene and something else is going to happen. But for now, let's curse Oliver. So now Oliver is living his happy life as a capybara, with our own set of capybara maneuver cards and equipment. Now that's it for the malefactor's turn, and we can go back to our champion's turn. So since everyone got stunned from that curse except for our Oliver Capybara, he is our only character that can play 2 maneuver cards this turn. And everyone else is still stuck at 1, so I think this is going to be a bit of a setup turn. So the first thing we'll do is we will start with Marie, and we will play our attack, Punish the Wicked. So we're going to move 1 up on the fierceness track, and we make an attack with a +1 die bonus. So there's only 1 malefactor now, so all of our attacks are going to King Minos, and as a collateral effect, we're going to get Inspire 1, because there's nobody else within range 2 of us. So we're rolling 4 die. We need to get 5. And we perfectly got 5, so that is going to be a wound, and we'll receive Inspire 1. Next, we're going to have Oliver play his Dig for Treasure card. So we're already the fiercest, so we don't need to move up any. But our restriction here, we must not be held. We are not. And then if there are 3 arcs or fewer on the board, and this is the only one right now, then we get to place an arc in a free space in the area you are in or as close as possible. So we're going to dig up another arc right there next to us. We'll follow that up with spending a Vigor with Kyra in order to interact with one of those arcs and draw a Findings card. And she found Flames of Dite. As a free action, discard this card to receive Recall 1. Okay, so Recall 1 is we can take a card on our maneuver board and put it back into our hand. Next, I'm going to have Kyra play our Claim card, and we're going to receive Inspire 1. That also moves us up 1 on the Fierceness track. The next thing we want to do is get Cain over into that area with everyone else. So we're going to play his Recycle card here. That's going to move 1 up on the Fierceness track. Then we get to move 2 with Climb, and we get to receive Invigorate 4. So because we have Climb, we do not need stairs to go up to this area, but Climb only allows you to ignore 1 level. So since we're going down 2 levels, we do still have to take 1 level of falling damage. So Cain does take 2 damage going to 3, but then we gain that for Invigorate. So we're going to go back up to 7. And finally, Cain will use 1 point of Vigor going down to 6 to open up that arc. And we've got some more of the 5th Bolgia's Tar. And the last thing we're going to do for the champion's turn is to taunt with Oliver. So that's going to move him all the way back up to the top of the fierceness track with that 3 right there. And then you and each other champion within range 1 receive Empower 2, and our marker on the fierceness track cannot move down. And now for King Minos' turn, we know that he is performing a backbreaker. So Minos is not holding any champions. So we're going to advance to the area the fiercest champion is in at any range. And so that is going to be Oliver with the taunt. So he's going to jump down adjacent to the champions. Minos is then going to hold that champion and inflict 6 damage on them. Oliver's at 9, so that takes him down to 3. And because we took out the throne, we don't have a second action deck. So we go on to the event. And we've drawn Chain Lightning. Inflict 6 damage on a champion at any range chosen by the caravan, and then if there are other champions within range 1 of that champion, inflict 6 damage divided evenly. And if we don't do that, then otherwise that champion has to get stun 3 with fatigue 2. So I think we're actually going to choose to do 6 damage to Oliver, because not only will that initial 6 damage give Oliver a wound and take him out of his capybara form, Kyra and Cain are also able to withstand taking 3 damage, so not too big of a deal. Alright, so after that big chain lightning attack, Cain is at 3 vigor, Oliver is at 9 vigor, and Kyra is at 6 vigor. Oliver's at 9 because we chose to go ahead and use that Oboli card. But Oliver also has 2 wounds now and had to get stunned whenever he came out of that capybara form. So he's looking pretty rough. But it is back to the champion's turn. I've done the cleanup, rebuild, and prepare step, and we gave Oliver's Invigor 2 from his Call to Battle ability over to Cain since he was a little light on vigor, and Cain is at 8. Oliver and Marie are at 12, and Kyra is at 9, so we're looking very good on vigor right now. And Marie has been watching all of this happen to Oliver, getting turned into a capybara, getting chain lightninged back into Oliver, taking those wounds, so she is going to use her Caduceus relic as a free action. We can spend this card to draw a sin card and cost yourself or another champion at any range to receive Restore 1. And we drew the Deceive Sin, so this one's going to help us avoid more wounds if we choose to play it. Next, with Kyra, we want to use our release shot so we can get Minos to release Oliver. We're going to start by moving 2, going down to 7 vigor, and then we're going to spend 1 more vigor in order to climb on top of this pillar. Now we're going to play our release shot, moving up 2 on the fierceness track. +1 die bonus gives us 4, and we also have Empower 4, so we'll be rolling 8 die. That's 2, 4, 6, 7 hits and 2 fumbles, so we will get a counterattack. But I think what we'll actually do to avoid a counterattack here is to go ahead and use the 1 Inspire that we have to make one of these a double hit, thus making it 9, which is unfortunately not 2 wounds, but we don't get counterattacked. And as collateral damage, Oliver will be released. Well, let's walk it back just 1 second here. I'm actually going to use the 5th Bolgia's Tar with Cain in order to block the counterattack so we can save our Inspire with Kyra. Then continuing with Cain, we're going to go ahead and start moving. And we're actually going to move 4 here, putting us on top of this building. And that puts us at 4 vigor. Then we're going to play our Catch a Breath maneuver card. It does not adjust our fierceness, and we're going to set a trap within range 2. Then we'll go one up on the fierceness track in order to play guerrilla preparation and set another trap within range 2. Next, we'll go with Oliver and play our motivate. So it's going to move us up 2 on the fierceness track, and we are going to move 2 with climb to get up onto that building with Cain, and then we're going to give ourselves inspire 1. That'll give us our second inspire, and we drew our shield bash card, which lowers the threshold by 2 on the malefactor. So the more inspiration we have, the better chance we'll have of flipping those fumbles into double hits. Now we're going to go back to Kyra, and we'll use our hand crossbow's free action to take stun 1 with fatigue 3, which will fill up our second cooldown slot, but it gives us a die with +2 die per cooldown. So we have +4 die, so we get a roll for an attack of 7 against Minos. Okay, a beautiful attack. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. We could use our Inspire to get 2 wounds here, but I think we want to save it to help us avoid counterattacks. So we'll deal 1 wound to Minos. Now finally we'll get to Marie, and we'll start with a War Incense to give us Inspire 1, so we'll have 2 Inspire now. We'll also go ahead and take Empower 2. Then lastly, because we have our Flame of the Just card in our hand, which is what allowed us to do that huge +20 die bonus attack in our fight against Charon, we are going to continue to do a little setup here, and we're going to use Catch the Breath to receive another Inspire 1, so we can get our third Inspire token and have some to play around with for a big attack next turn. And with that, we'll give it over to the Malefactor. We'll start with his action deck, and then we'll get to that last event. Home run. So first we're going to move 3, approaching the fiercest champion at any range, which is Oliver still. So we're going to move 3, which does pass him straight through 2 traps. So he's going to suffer 2 more wounds. Then if there were any champions in the area, they would each take 4 damage, but none are in the area. So otherwise, shuffle 2 Arcana cards into Minos' action deck, and this action is ended. Oof. All right, so 2 of those powerful Arcana cards are getting shuffled into the action deck. And for our final event, we have Open the Session. If the Throne of Limbo has not been destroyed, okay, so it has, so otherwise, inflict 3 damage on each champion at any range. So Marie goes down to 9, Kyra goes down to 3, Oliver goes down to 9, and Cain goes down to 1. Then we're going to shuffle X Arcana cards into Minos' action deck, X being equal to the number of path cards the caravan has taken. And so path cards are things that you can pick up in the Chronicle phase, and we have 2 of those. So 2 more Arcana cards into the action deck. And then finally, this is the 3rd card we've stored, so we're going to read the scene Black Widow. Cordiality gives way to blood as the infernal judge does not intend to do his duty, a fact that, to the poet's surprise, did not even result in any punishment. Does the devil no longer care? Or worse, does the high power? Although the former king proves to be a skilled warrior, the numbers are in your favor, as is the advantage in the fight. When she realizes this, the cunning woman takes courage and steps out of the shadows. Her eyes glitter, crackling with supernatural power. Husband, she shouts as she floats a foot off the ground, her hair waving as if she was a storm personified. Let me help you deal with these scum. A sorceress, a creature your mortal minds could not even imagine existed, joins the fight. And now the Queen of Crete has joined the fight, so we're going to flip the status card over, which is now going to show Pasiphae's sturdiness and threshold. So Pasiphae has a sturdiness of 2 and a sturdiness of 6 and a threshold of 2. And now we're going to bring in Pasiphae's action card deck and place them in the 3rd slot, replacing the event deck. We also have the discovery card number 3, Imposter Exposed. So during that Chronicle phase, we found out that this is actually not King Minos' wife and is an imposter. So we're going to read Confessions of a Dying Man. The woman made an impressive entrance, that is undeniable. However, the poet knows that you need to make the best out of this moment. Hear me well, your excellency, Dante catches Minos' attention. This woman is not Pasiphae, your wife. She is an imposter. He treads a dangerous path now. A mortal who has learned to extract tremendous power from this place, but that's it. She has made a fool of you. The plot has been revealed, and from the look the former king gives the poet, you can tell that he is intrigued. Liar! The queen attempts to defend herself. Husband dear, hear no more of these lies. Have I ever been dishonorable in any way? She insists, but the memory that comes to the judge's mind is the figure of the Minotaur. In the end, perhaps you do have a chance. So now we store that discovery card and take the Forced Confession objective card. So we have a new way we can complete this confrontation. And we have our new objective, Extract Pasiphae's Confession. So definitely a lot easier to get through Pasiphae's 9-card action deck than however many King Minos has right now, since we just added 4 more Arcana cards to it. And now we can go to our champion's turn, where they're going to be focusing on Pasiphae. During the rebuild step, Oliver gave 2 Invigorate to Cain, putting him back up to 3. And because we had to shuffle for Cain, he drew a sin card, and that allowed him to place a trap in range 2. And we're going to start with Marie, and I think we're going to make Pasiphae really regret joining this fight. So the first thing we're going to do is use our Miry Sinkhole. So basically this is going to let us inflict 1 wound on a malefactor within range 2. So we're going to do that to Pasiphae for just a free wound. Then we're going to make an attack with Take Down the Giant. So we're going to move up 2 on the Fierceness track, and you make an attack with Precision 2. This attack receives a plus X dice bonus, and you suffer X damage, X being equal to the difference between your weapon power and your target's sturdiness. So that's going to be 3. So taking 3 Vigor puts us at 9. We have 3 die from the weapon, plus 3 from the bonus, and plus 2 from Empower. So that's going to be a total of 8. And because we have Precision 2, we're only going to trigger a counterattack at 4 fumbles or more. Okay, 1 cock die. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 7, which is enough for a wound, and 3 fumbles is just shy of a counterattack thanks to that Precision 2. And we actually still need to roll 2 more because we have the extra from Inner Flame because we have 3 Inspire. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 wounds and 4 fumbles. So we're definitely going to use 1 Inspire here to convert a fumble into a double hit. That's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, which is going to do, just shy of 2 wounds. So that's going to be 1 wound, and at least we do avoid the counterattack. I'm thinking I still actually don't want to leave things like that. Let's use our Holy Thurible to spend 2 Vigor going down to 7 and re-roll 1 more fumble to see if we can get to that 12. And there we go, that's 13. So we do 2 wounds. And because we were able to get 12 hits, we activate our Align the Choir. So now we either receive Invigorate 2 or Empower 2. And I'm going to give us another Empower because we're not done attacking. So next, we're going to play our Flame of the Just. That's going to put us at the top of the Fierceness track, and then we're going to discard both of our Inspiration to get plus 10 on this attack. So 13 with the weapon, and then 15 from the Empower. So let's start with 10. Okay, a lot more fumbles here, and we still have 5 more to go. So let's see, we've got 5 fumbles, and then we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hits. So now we roll 5 more. And that makes 10, 14 hits for 2 wounds. So since we're definitely about to take a counterattack here, we'll take that Invigorate 2 for Align the Choir, putting us back up to 9. I don't think spending 2 to just reroll 1 of these is going to be super useful. So we'll take our 2 wounds and then take this massive counterattack. So her counterattack is a Piercing Scream. Inflict 2 base damage on each champion within range 1. So that is just going to be Marie, putting her back down to 7. Then those champions suffer Stun 1 with Fatigue 3, and then move 1 with Climb, distancing from the attacking champion. So that means she's going to move 1 over here. And then Stun means we're going to have our last maneuver slot blocked for this turn. So I was hoping to get another attack off, but it didn't happen. And so the 2 base damage gets another plus 5, which miraculously Marie can still take, going down to 2 Vigor. And as a collateral effect from that attack, we did gain Empower 4. And even though her last maneuver slot is blocked, she's still going to make another attack because with Kyra, we're actually going to use our Aggressive Penitence, which lets another champion within range 2 make an attack. And Marie is within range 2 of Kyra up on that pillar. So Marie gets to make another attack of 3. We have 4 Empower, so 7 die. All right, so a hit for 8 with 3 fumbles. So that's going to be a plus 1 on the counterattack. Let's see what we get. And we have a Warp. Pasiphae swaps with another Malefactor at any range at the fiercest champion's choice. Then redirect the damage being inflicted by this attack to that Malefactor. Inflict 2 base damage on each champion in the area Pasiphae is in. Okay, so we're going to be swapping with Minos. Nobody's going to take any additional damage, but that 1 wound is going to go on Minos. Next, we're going to have Kyra go and perform a call to action and allow Marie to remove that sin card from her hand. And then because we removed a sin card with an effect from Kyra, we can now play cards on top of the cards we've already played on our maneuver board. Next, we're going to use a point of vigor with Kyra to interact with the pillar in order to climb down. And then we're going to use our coordinate maneuver card. We can move 2 with climb, and we can spend these movement points as if they were vigor points to perform interact and deliver item. I don't think we're going to do that. We're just going to take the move with climb, and then you or another champion at any range receives invigorate 4, empower 4, or inspire 1. And we're going to give Cain inspire 1. We'll then spend another point of vigor with Kyra going down to 4 in order to deliver an item and give our Flames of Dite over to Marie. And then we'll just have Marie go ahead and use the Flames of Dite in order to get our Take Down the Giant card back into our hand. And we'll proceed to use that card to make another attack on Pasiphae with Marie. So we get that +3 die bonus, so we're attacking for 6 die with precision 2. Okay, 2, 4, 6 is exactly enough to wound, and we rolled below the threshold. So that will do 1 wound to Pasiphae. And of course, we were only at 2 vigor, so taking that 3 damage from Take Down the Giant did make us suffer a wound. Then Kyra will make her move with a Corrupt Tempest, so we're going to get an attack with 5 die. We do have 1 Inspire, but as a collateral effect, we can draw a Sin card to discard the top card of the targeted action deck. And that is going to be 5 with 2 fumbles, so we're definitely going to use our Inspire to turn this into a double hit. So now we do not take a counterattack. That's going to be 1 wound from the attack, and then we will draw a Sin card to do that additional discard off the top of the action deck. Next thing we'll do is move 4 with Oliver to get up in Pasiphae's face. That puts us at 8 vigor. And then we're going to perform a Shield Bash attack. So we make an attack with +4 die. We have Empower 2, so we're going to get +6 to our 4. So we're attacking with 10 die here, and we have 2 Inspire. Okay, so that's 3 fumbles and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hits. So let's definitely go ahead and use 1 Inspire in order to make one of these a double. And that gets us 12. And that's 2 wounds, and it does hit the counterattack. And the threshold is actually lowered by 2 because of Shield Bash. So let's just take our 2 wounds and see what that counterattack is. And we drew, okay, another Piercing Scream. So 2 base damage on each champion within range 1. So again, this is just going to be Oliver, but 0 is the base. So that's going to be +2 with the 2 fumbles. So 4 base damage to Oliver takes him down to 4. And then he's going to take a stunned 1 with fatigue 3. And she's going to continue to run away. But we also still inflict 2 wounds here. And unfortunately for Pasiphae, that puts her right in range of Cain. So he is going to make a canister shot, moving up 2 on the fierceness track. And we're not going to remove our trap because we already have Empower 4 as well. So we're getting +6 die, meaning we're making an attack for 9. And that right there is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And we will go ahead and use our 1 Inspire to turn a fumble into a double hit, meaning a fumble into a fumble into a double hit. So that's 13 with 1 fumble, no counterattack, and it looks like we only had 1 action card left in the deck. So with that, we have defeated Pasiphae. And now that we've extracted Pasiphae's confession, we can read the imposter's fate. The imposter should have stayed hidden. Wait, have mercy, the woman pleads as she suffers a final blow. Her tempestuous aura fades away completely. Please, I do not wish to die. Allow me to return and repent so I do not suffer in the Inferno. The appeal is as genuine as it is useless, for immortal creatures do not fear death, and this is something only they know. A deception that exposes the sorceress. So, the poet speaks the truth. Minos grabs Pasiphae by her dress and stares at her, looking deep into her soul like he never had before. Artemis Papadakis, that is your true name. Your soul reeks of sin, but one of them is worst. You deceived me, and therefore the circle of fraudsters awaits you, as determined by the 8 knots tied by my tail. The once king drags his wife to a platform that overhangs the enormous abyss where the newly damned souls are thrown to their fates, a shortcut that no living creature can use and not even Dante knew about. Minos throws the woman into the darkness, waiting until her screams can no longer be heard. The caravan takes discovery card number 4, Divorce Request. Each champion progresses their maneuvers deck, replacing one level 1 card with a level 2 card, and we read the final scene, the first step. With his affairs resolved, the former king now devotes all his attention to you. Dante takes the lead and patiently speaks about the sacrilege and your arrival. I let them pass. Minos laments, coming to his senses in his post. I let them pass as an engagement gift for my second nuptials, but they said their journey is as blessed as your first one was. Since heaven did not punish you, I believe they spoke the truth. The magistrate's confusion is legitimate, as even the poet is not sure whether the knight's journey is divine. After all, it was the saints who were concerned about the invasion, not the high power. The man claimed to lead his people to salvation and would not allow anyone to stop him, not even the devil himself, your host remembers. Poet, for all I know, this could be just another test of humanity, born of boredom. You leave, pondering this. Be that as it may, the patrons of this second visit to the Inferno were clear. The order must be stopped. For better or worse, this is what the Florentine will try to do, but is it what you want? And that's going to be the end of Circle 1 Limbo in Dante Inferno. I'm really enjoying this so far, so let me know if you are as well in the comments. This has been Solo Party. My name is Kane. Thanks for watching.